Hey friends, it's me, Miss Drew, and I'm out here in McClellanville, South Carolina at the Hampton Plantation State Historical Site with Ranger Jason Sellers, and he's going to tell us all about the things that you can see if you use your state park pass and backpack to come visit this historical site.
So Hampton Plantation is a state historical site, as you referenced, and we have a lot of different opportunities here. This is a very unique site. I like to refer to it as kind of a hidden treasure of South Carolina. So Hampton Plantation, the plantation house itself, is one of the oldest non-restored plantation homes in South Carolina. So one of the things that we offer here is an opportunity for visitors to come by and take about a 45 to a minute tour, or 45 minute to an hour tour here at Hampton Plantation in the interior of the plantation house. In addition to that, we also provide educational opportunities for our Discover Carolina curriculum-based students that may visit on field trips. And in addition to that, we also have recreational opportunities such as hiking, biking, picnicking, fishing. So a lot of different things going on here at Hampton Plantation.
That's a lot of fun stuff you guys can do if you come out here. And earlier, before we were on film, you were telling us about a book that they can get that has like the stamps in it. Can you tell them a little bit about that book that they can get that they can put stamps in?
Absolutely. So the State Park Service has what we refer to as the Ultimate Outsider. And it's an initiative to get folks out and to visit all 47 South Carolina state parks. And so this book has general information about each one of the individual sites. And one of the unique features about the book is each park has its own stamp. So when you go and you visit that site, you'll stamp the book, and then once you collect all 47, you'll get a t-shirt that claims that you are the ultimate outsider, that you have visited all state parks. And that is that is a unique club.
That is super cool.
And they do certain programs. They provide certain programs for those folks that have completed the Ultimate Outsider program.
So there's a perk to being an ultimate outsider too, huh?
Absolutely. One of the things we've done here at Hampton is in this ballroom where George Washington visited in 1791, we kind of go back in time, and some of our interpreters will have a tea and crumpet social with George Washington or Harriet Peetney Oree. And we've provided that just for the folks that have done that Ultimate Outsider completion.
So some really cool stuff if you guys get that booklet too and have all those stamps in it. So I know Michelle and I just found out about that, and we're super excited to start getting our stamps in our book already. So, all right, so could you tell us a little bit about the history of the Hampton Plantation?
Absolutely. So as I referenced, Hampton Plantation is one of the oldest non-restored plantation homes that you will find in South Carolina. And what that means is it's primarily in its original state from when it was built back in the early 1700s. So we believe that the house was built sometime between 1700 and 1730. But what a lot of folks don't realize is Hampton Plantation originally was a 6-room plantation house that faced the river. Today, there's 13 rooms in the house, and the front actually faces the opposite side of the river.
What? And
that is because of the addition of the front portico, which was built prior to George Washington's visit in 1791. And when the enslaved built the portico, that's what turned the house around. And so it turned the interior and the exterior of the home around.
What?
So now today, the front was originally the back, and vice versa.
So just add a portico to your house and you can switch it around.
Absolutely.
You don't need to pick it up and lift it and move it.
And they expanded the house in 1760 from that 6 rooms to 13 rooms, from 5,000 square feet to about 10,000 square feet. And the room that we're standing in today is one of the additions, and that is the long room that we refer to. And this is where George Washington had brunch in 1791, and also where Francis Marion, the Swamp Fox, was known to hang out during the American Revolution.
That is really cool. And what, if you don't mind me, I know we're going to talk about a little bit about the rooms and stuff. Can you tell me what a portico is?
So portico is a fancy name for a porch.
Okay.
And so the front porch has columns. It is a Adamesque style portico. And the house, is, as I stated, is a Georgian style architectural home, which basically means balance and symmetry. So for example, if you have 4 windows on the east side, you have to have 4 windows on the west side to balance out. And another example would be the fireplace here. On each side of the fireplace, you have a closet or a door. Well, it was very common for these doors not to be functional. They were only there for aesthetics.
Oh.
So if you have one door on the other side, you have to have another door on the other.
So even if it went nowhere and did nothing.
It's very common in Charleston to find these doorways painted on, or if you open up the door, there's actually a brick wall behind it.
Wow. See, and I would have just assumed if I saw something like that it used to be a room and someone closed it up. But so it was probably never a room to begin with. It was just to make sure that everything was symmetrical.
That's right. And some of the closets in Hampton Plantation actually lead down to a secret passage. So there's a story about Francis Marion visiting and escaping from the British during the American Revolution and escaping out of one of the trap doors inside the plantation house.
So Jason said that Francis Marion escaped from the plantation through this hidden passageway, but I'm not going to let him tell you any more about that. I want you guys to come out here and visit, and he can tell you all about it when you come. All right, so you want to tell us and show us a few other things in the house just to give them a little taste, because I'm already excited.
Absolutely.
All right, we're in another amazing room of the plantation, and Ranger Jason is going to tell us more about some of the really important things about the plantation.
Yeah, so Hampton Plantation, we try to tell the complete story of the plantation, which includes the plantation owners and the enslaved, because they were an integral part of Hampton Plantation. And today, when you visit Hampton Plantation, folks can take a walk on the enslaved settlement trail. And along this trail, you'll see where some of our archaeologists have uncovered where some of the original slave dwellings were located. And we know, based off of the artifacts and from those excavations, that those were skilled artisans who lived closer to the homes, such as a seamstress or a tailor. And this wayside up here actually has a list of the names of several folks that were enslaved on Hampton Plantation. And you can tell a lot by a name. For example, there was a slave by the name of Glass Window. And so you kind of get an idea of what their job responsibility was, what they were doing. And then also by the values of what they were worth. So the numbers to the right represent the values. And again, you could tell that the higher values are going to be your skilled artisans that, again, would have lived in this area that our archaeologists have recently uncovered.
All right, you guys, I'm still here touring this amazing plantation, you guys, and it has so much history. He told us a little bit of stuff, and I'm going to let him tell you about some events that are coming up so that you can learn more about this plantation. So what events do you have? You said one in the fall and one in the winter. If you could tell them a little bit about those, so you guys maybe want to come out here for those, because they sound amazing to us.
Yeah, so when we get close to the fall season, we offer what we refer to as our Legends and Lore program. And this is an opportunity for folks to come out and visit the plantation in the evening time. And we typically highlight the house illuminate the house with candles. And we take folks to the 2 cemeteries that we have on site, the African American Cemetery and the Rutledge Family Cemetery. And we kind of compare and contrast and talk about the different cultures and what the families were doing in the fall in preparation of the fall harvest of the rice. And then as we get closer to the holiday season, Christmas time, we do offer what we refer to as Hampton Illuminated. Again, that's an evening program. We usually have live music. in the house, great acoustics, and we take folks through the house and talk about how the family was celebrating Christmas or the holidays, and then also compare to what the enslaved were doing on the plantation during the holiday as well.
That sounds like a really interesting holiday trip, you guys. All right, so I noticed this cute little model behind us. So he's going to tell us a little bit about this model and the other things that you see around it.
Yeah, so Hampton Plantation was obviously a former rice plantation. And this area was once referred to as the heart of the rice kingdom. So here at Hampton Plantation, they were producing about 200,000 pounds of rice a year. And this particular model here is an example of what we refer to as a winnowing house. And you may have seen, especially as you get closer to Charleston, the sweetgrass baskets. Well, this is referred to as a winnowing basket. And basically what you would do is you would have the rice, and you would place the rice in the mortar, and you would have the pestle and mortar, and that's what you would use to separate the husk or the chaff from the rice. And you would store your rice in here, and then up underneath are some vents, and that's kind of the same way when you would use a winnowing basket, you would use the wind to separate the chaff from the rice.
Wow, that's really cool. So that's something else you guys can find out when you come out here. More about rice plantations and what goes on at them and how they harvest rice, because I didn't even know that. I thought that was really cool. Can you tell me a little bit about the last private homeowner of this plantation?
Yeah, so a lot of folks come to Hampton Plantation because they're fond of Archibald Rutledge's writings. So Archibald Rutledge was South Carolina's first poet laureate, and this is a nice picture of the late Archibald Rutledge. But Archibald Rutledge sold Hampton Plantation to the state in 1971 because he knew that the state would do a good job with preserving the plantation.
Yeah, so that's a really cool fact about this one, you guys. And if you'd like to learn more about Archibald Rutledge, you can check out tons of books that we have at the Darlington Library. So check those out, you guys. With all this amazing stuff out here, is there a way that people could make a donation if they'd like to, or other ways that they can help you guys to preserve this plantation?
Absolutely. So Hampton Plantation, not only are we responsible for the cultural resources, but the natural resources here on the park. And we're always looking for financial support through our 501c3 nonprofit organization, which is the Friends of Hampton Plantation. Or you could actually contact the park directly and make a donation to the Hampton Plantation Endowment.
So that's a great little bit of information, so you guys have a little extra funds and want to help out one of the state parks. I'm sure that all of them have some way that you can donate or something like that, so I think that's awesome. And you want to preserve this history, so I implore you guys, if you have a little extra dollar here or there, send it this way. I hope you guys had an amazing time touring this plantation with us. And please, I implore you to stop by and tour the entire thing with the ranger and see what else there is here at Hampton Plantation for you guys. And if you want to, check out some of those events he has coming up. You probably see me and Michelle at least at one of those. Hope you guys have a great night. Goodbye.